Imagine you are swimming in the warm, crystal-clear waters of northern Australia. The sun is shining. The ocean is calm. You feel safe because you can see the bottom. You can see there are no sharks. There are no crocodiles. But you are making a fatal mistake. You are looking for a monster with teeth. You should be looking for a monster that is invisible. Drifting silently in the current is a creature that looks like a delicate plastic bag. It is 95% water. It has no brain. It has no blood. It has no heart. But it possesses a weapon so advanced, it makes a cobra look like an amateur. This is Chironex Fleckeri, commonly known as the Sea Wasp or the box jellyfish. Do not let the name jellyfish fool you. This is not the passive blob you see washing up on the beach. This is an active, hunting predator. Hanging from its box-shaped bell are up to 60 tentacles, stretching 3 meters 10 feet long. And staring out from that transparent body are 24 eyes. Yes, 24 eyes, grouped in clusters called rhopalia. Some of these eyes have lenses, corneas, and retinas just like yours. They can see you. They can navigate. But without a brain, how do they process what they see? That remains one of science's darkest mysteries. But the real horror is the speed of its kill. A bite from a king cobra might kill you in a few hours. A bite from a black mamba might take 20 minutes. But if you get entangled in the tentacles of a large sea wasp, you can be dead in 2 to 5 minutes. In severe cases, the heart stops in just 65 seconds. It happens so fast that victims often don't even have time to reach the shore. They simply go into shock and drown in waist-deep water in this video. We are going to dissect the biochemistry of the world's most venomous marine creature. We will look at the microscopic guns it carries, analyze how its toxin punches holes in your heart, and understand why evolution created something so beautiful and so utterly devastating. To understand how the sea wasp kills so quickly, we have to zoom in, way in. If you look at one of its 60 tentacles under a microscope, you won't see a smooth surface. You will see a minefield. Each tentacle is coated with millions of microscopic cells called cytocytes. Inside each of these cells is a specialized organelle called a nematocyst. Think of a nematocyst as a biological high-tech booby trap. It consists of a capsule containing a tightly coiled hollow thread tipped with a razor-sharp barb. It is essentially a hypodermic needle loaded into a spring-loaded cannon. Most venomous animals, like snakes or spiders, have to choose to bite you. It is a conscious decision. The sea wasp is different. It is an automatic death machine. On the surface of the tentacle, there is a tiny hair-like trigger called a cyanidacil. When your skin brushes against this trigger, it sets off a chemical and physical chain reaction that is instantaneous. The capsule lid pops open. The internal pressure inside the cell which is 200 times the pressure of a car tire is released. The barbed thread fires out. This is the fastest biological event in the animal kingdom. The harpoon accelerates at 5 million gigaseconds. To put that in perspective, a Formula One car pulls 5 gigaseconds. A fighter jet pilot passes out at 9 gigaseconds. A bullet leaving. A gun barrel experiences about 190,000 gigaseconds. The sea wasp's sting is exponentially faster than a bullet. It hits your skin with such velocity that it doesn't just pierce the soft tissue. It can punch through the shell of a crab or the scales of a fish. Because the barb is hollow, so the moment it penetrates your skin, it injects a payload of venom directly into your bloodstream. Now, multiply this by millions. If you brush against just 1 meter of tentacle, you are triggering hundreds of thousands of these microscopic shotguns simultaneously. In a fraction of a second, you aren't just stung, you are carpet bombed. The pain is instantaneous and overwhelming. Survivors describe it not as a sting, but as being branded with red-hot iron or being splashed with boiling acid. The shock of the pain alone is enough to cause some swimmers to drown. But the pain is just the warning system. The real problem is what has just been injected into your veins. The needle has done its job. Now, the poison goes to work. And unlike snake venom, which usually targets the nervous system or the blood clotting mechanism, The sea wasp's venom has a much more terrifying target, the rhythm of your heart, so the harpoons have fired. The venom is in your blood. Now the clock starts ticking. Why does a sting on your leg stop your heart? The answer lies in a specific type of protein found in the sea wasp's venom. These proteins are called porins. If you think of the cell membrane as a fortress wall protecting the inside of your cells, porins are the siege engineers designed to breach that wall. Here is the microscopic horror. Story. The venom contains toxin proteins, specifically CFTX1 and CFTX2. When these proteins enter your bloodstream, they don't attack the heart directly at first. They attack your red blood cells. The toxin molecules drift through your plasma and attach themselves to the outer membrane of your blood cells. But they don't work alone. They congregate. They find each other on the surface of the cell and link up, forming a ring. Imagine a group of soldiers standing in a circle, locking arms. Once the ring is complete, they punch downwards. They physically insert themselves into the membrane, creating a permanent, open tunnel. This is a pore. The sea wasp essentially turns your blood cells into Swiss cheese. Now, we have a catastrophic plumbing problem. Your red blood cells are packed with potassium. Under normal conditions, this potassium stays inside the cell. The blood plasma outside is supposed to be low in potassium. This balance, the gradient, is crucial for life. It is the battery that powers your electrical system. But now, millions of red blood cells have holes in them. Hemolysis begins. The cells burst. A massive tidal wave of potassium floods out of the cells and into the bloodstream. This condition is called acute hyperkalemia. And here is where the heart enters the chat. Your heart is an electrical pump. It relies on the movement of sodium and potassium ions to trigger each beat contraction and, more importantly, to reset relaxation for the next beat. When the blood hitting your heart is suddenly overloaded with potassium, the electrical system shorts out. The heart muscle contracts, but it cannot relax. It cannot reset. It gets stuck in a permanent state of contraction. This isn't a typical cardiac arrest where the heart just stops or flutters fibrillation. This is a rigid spasm. The heart literally clamps shut. This explains the terrifying speed of the death. In toxicology, usually a poison has to travel to an organ, bind to a receptor, and slowly shut it down. But the sea wasp venom creates a chemical storm in the blood itself. The blood carrying the oxygen becomes the weapon that kills the heart. It only takes about 60 seconds for blood to circulate through the entire human body. That is why the timeline is 65 seconds. One loop. The venom hits the blood greater than the cells burst. Potassium spikes. The blood hits the heart. The lights go out. While this is happening to your heart, the venom is also attacking the skin, causing necrosis or rotting of the flesh, and the nervous system causing a sense of impending doom. But the heart usually stops long before the skin has time to rot. It is a brutal, overwhelming assault on every system, but the mechanism is surprisingly simple. It punches holes. It is primitive, messy, and absolutely effective. It is biological warfare at its most ruthless. If the venom makes the sea wasp deadly, its behavior makes it a nightmare. Most dangerous animals give you a warning. A rattlesnake rattles. A wolf growls. A shark shows its fin. The sea wasp offers nothing. It is the stealth bomber of the ocean. Its tissue is transparent, making it nearly impossible to see in the water until it is less than a meter away. It is a biological cloaking device. But what makes Chironex Fleckeri truly unique among jellyfish is that it is not a drifter. Most jellyfish are planktonic. They just float wherever the current takes them. They are passive. The sea wasp is an active hunter. Using those muscular contractions of its bell, it can swim at speeds of up to 4 knots, about 7.5 kilometers per hour. That is faster than most people can swim. It moves with purpose. It navigates. Remember those 24 eyes? They aren't just for show. Scientists believe the sea wasp actively avoids obstacles and hunts for specific prey. It isn't just bumping into things. It is looking for things. And where does it hunt? This is the most terrifying part. It doesn't live in the deep, dark ocean. It loves the same places we love. The sea wasp thrives in calm, shallow, sandy beaches and mangrove creeks, the exact spots where families go for picnics and children play in the water. During the stinger season in Australia, typically November to May, these creatures swarm the coastlines. Because they hunt in shallow water to catch prawns and small fish, they often drift into water that is only knee-deep. A child playing in ankle-deep water is arguably at the highest risk. The combination of invisibility, speed, and habitat overlap makes it the single most dangerous marine creature to humans. You don't know it's there until the harpoons are already in your skin. By the time you scream, the biological timer has already started ticking down from 65. So we have to ask the final question. Why? Why did evolution build such a nuclear weapon? Why does a jellyfish need venom powerful enough to kill 60 humans? It seems like overkill, and it is. But the sea wasp didn't evolve to kill humans. We are just collateral damage. It evolved to eat shrimp and fish. Think about the sea wasp's body. It is soft, delicate jelly. Think about a prawn or a fish. They are spiky, hard, and thrash violently when caught. If the sea wasp catches a fish, and the fish struggles for even 10 seconds, could tear the jellyfish's delicate tentacles apart. The predator would be destroyed by its own prey. So, the sea wasp needed a weapon that creates instant paralysis. It needs to kill the fish before the fish realizes it has been caught. The venom has to be instantaneous. The fact that it stops a human heart in 65 seconds is just an unfortunate side effect of a weapon designed to stop a fish in 0.5 seconds. It is a reminder that in nature, beauty and danger are often the same thing. The sea wasp is a masterpiece of biological engineering, a brainless, a heartless assassin that has survived for millions of years by being the fastest gun in the ocean. What is your biggest fear in the ocean? The teeth of a shark or the invisible touch of a jelly? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the biochemistry of death, hit like and subscribe to BeyondTheApex. Stay safe, wear a stinger suit, and I'll see you in the next video.